20 years off your life.
Yes. Took 10, but then it actually net the effect
Yeah.
of only a negative 10.
Yeah.
Negative 20.
I love when George kicks off the show. Like, it's great. So now we are live, and I am stuck. Apparently, I'm stuck. All right, I'm at Starbucks, y'all, because it is what it is, when you're Amy Palvido and, happens. But this is a real estate morning news show, and I got my friends in the house, and we should hopefully have another friend here soon, Jason Hull from Regions Bank, who's a multifamily lender. But we're going to talk today about repurposing office buildings or other buildings for multifamily real estate. That's what we're going to talk about today, because I think there are a lot of people, maybe, are trying to do this, and there's a lot of things you have to be concerned with. And I'm going to speak from my multifamily construction hat. That's my job today. And then so was George. George was a developer who did a lot of multifamily redevelopments. And then we got my buddy Paul. He's in the house, and Jason will join us later. So Jason will talk about how he finances these things. All right, so let's do it. George, sir, kick us off. Introduce yourself to the crowd.
George Birch, I'm the founder of RE Analytics, based in Dallas. We do data management and financial analytics. And as Amy mentioned, before I started this company, I had extensive experience converting office buildings to apartments. So looking forward to the conversation today. Extensive.
Yeah, extensive. I know. He has gray hairs and PTSD. All from converting office into multifamily.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool. And Paul. Hey, Paul.
Hi, all good. So yeah, I'm Paul Sheedy, founder of Unified. We make buildings smarter, save you energy, save you insurance, and all those good things. Yeah. And I think, George, you're going to be speaking for the next hour.
Well, I'm sure that they're doing this in London as well. They're not just doing this phenomena in the United States, right, Paul? They're converting lots of, because you have, Paul and I have to tell you, Paul and I have argued on multiple occasions, because I'm a real estate developer. I'm like, just knock that crap down and just build something new. And Paul's like, no, stop. Because from a sustainability standpoint, it is better to redevelop than, I just
burn our grandchildren now.
Yes, exactly. That's too funny. That's too funny. But yeah, no, I know that I think Brookfield's done some work in London, redoing some old stuff, right? There's lots of redevelopments, I'm assuming.
There's lots. I mean, where I'm here now, they're doing a lot of build to rent. So a lot of large scale, very, very large scale, high rise, modern, super sexy multifamily operations here. But yeah, really quite spectacular stuff. And all built around all those extra pieces, like cinemas on floors, or restaurants inside your multi-purpose. It's really, really high end stuff. Yeah.
Were they also like hotel multifamily? Were they like the dual purpose, like it could serve as a hotel also, or no?
There definitely is some of that opening up around here as well. Yeah, but a lot of the new ones here, the sort of residential area in Canary Wharf is all built to rent. Yeah, most of it is built to rent.
Interesting. Yeah, I just, we need housing. I don't know. I'd love to talk to that design engineer who figured out how to solve the bathroom problem. But, I don't know. But George, let's talk about the one that gave you all the gray hair. It was downtown Dallas, right? Talk about the two.
I did too.
You did too. Okay, so talk about the first one. When was the first one, by the way? You were like the OG, flipping offices into multifamily. When was the first one?
2005. So basically, it's only 20 short years ago, so it's practically yesterday.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Downtown Dallas was struggling. They had a lot of vacant office buildings, kind of like a lot of 1970s, 80s vintage buildings. Then they had that challenge, and then they had some cool buildings that were kind of built in kind of like the, I'd say, 40s and 50s, had some architectural significance. So regardless of the older buildings or the newer buildings, they had a massive occupancy problem, just like a lot of downtowns. So the city of Dallas wanted to revitalize the downtown, so they were trying to figure out how to get some of these buildings activated. So because of the project that we did, it was a big white elephant right smack in the middle of downtown, and kind of nothing would get developed past that building. So basically the redevelopment in an area of downtown. So the city of Dallas said, we need to invest in downtown. So the project I did, they created a special TIF district just to fund this project. And if you're familiar with downtown and uptown has the more shinier, more expensive buildings. And so they combined uptown with downtown and created a downtown connection TIF to try to use the increment from the uptown area to fund downtown development. And so the financing mechanism, there was so much increment from the uptown that they were able to bond the proceeds because there was cash flow already being generated. So they were able to bond the proceeds, and they were able to get like $80 million in today dollars by bonding those proceeds. And we got 65 of that million. So basically to work on this project. And we probably needed about 85 when all was said and done. And it was complicated. It was a super block. So it was 4 buildings actually combined as one big structure, one historic bank tower that was 31 stories, then 3 other kind of 1950s vintage, really obsolete kind of banking building. So we ended up tearing down those 3 buildings that were adjacent to that bank tower, the 31-story bank tower, converting that one to apartments. And then as we tore down those 3 buildings, that created a below-grade area where we put parking. And then where that space was, we built back a 15-story building, new building. So basically it was a total of like 400 units at a cost of probably $150 million. So the economics were they funded
bad. All sorts of wrong and all sorts of bad. And it's still there today, right? It's still there, right? They didn't knock it down again, did they?
Yeah, the bank building is a big kind of, it has the clock tower. It's a big kind of piece. But the challenge was when we were developing the project, we got the subsidy in like 2005, 2006. So basically we were contracting the construction work possibly at the peak of construction pricing in like 2006. And by the time we did all the construction and opened, it was like March of 2009. So basically we bought out the construction at possibly the peak of construction pricing. And then we opened in March of 2009 at possibly a challenging time.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's those kinds of projects are never, but still, it was 150 million in 2005. Like that's like super expensive. Like that was like 200 million today. Like I can't imagine $200 million or 400 units.
Right.
Like,
the
really?
The value was probably 60, 70 million on a good day.
Well, you did it. Like you survived. I've been through construction projects and that's.
Well, it was right during kind of it was a challenging time, but basically part of this development agreement with the city, they just didn't want 1 building, they wanted 3. So we had to commit to doing, because they just didn't want 1 project. So we did the building just south of that as kind of a phase 2, and we started that when the first one got completed. So basically this was like 2010. So we're talking right smack in the middle of economic despair. Yeah. So it took a year and a half.
In 2008, the Great Recession hit, and that's why you got done in the 2009. Oh boy.
And we were looking for financing to do the next basic, of course.
I know.
HUD 221D4. Everyone's running to HUD when times are bad. So basically, we did a HUD 221D4 loan, and on that project, we had 7 financing sources to do a $56 million building. And is this live? So we were working with the city of Dallas. They gave us an additional TIF award, an upfront TIF award, and in the future TIF award. We had a community development block grant loan. We had another section, was it 108, another loan. We had a city loan that was secured by another city subsidy. So basically, it was interesting, but historic.
Did you have to pay all that? Wait. Those are all loans, right? So even though the city of Dallas really wanted it, it was a loan, right? You had to pay it back, right?
One was a loan, but it was secured only by another city subsidy. So basically, it was in the future. So basically, there was upfront money that they could give us today, secured by a future TIF award. And as the TIF award paid off, we were paying down that loan. So we were financing this in 2010, which was challenging. But
what a crazy story! That is such a crazy, brutal.
That was we converted that office building. It was like 250,000 square feet to 203 apartments. Horrible looking, like 1950s building. And so it was kind of like it's not on the outside, it's what's on the inside. So basically, we tried to dress it up with a bunch of cool amenities.
Yeah. So I think that brings us to the point. So Paul, you're working mostly in office. You're doing building technology around 4 offices. I do think that there's a play, not to necessarily take the office completely away, but to build some floors with multifamily on it, right? Like I think that there's some sort of mixed use play there, right? Yeah. And so, but but I was going to say, your technology can really drive like understanding from this is how much use you're really getting out of your damn building. So why don't we look at, and it could be like the use case or the business plan or business case for converting it into multifamily. Even if they've got it all leased up and it's just dark, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just come back from Hong Kong, and we got a big project there we're looking at doing now. 61 high-rise buildings for all multifamily. But this is 50-year-old properties, and they just need completely updating. I'm not going into too much detail. I was quite shocked about how little they had in there. But this is where we go in and we'd retrofit, and we basically, work out what the return on investment model is and how we can lower the insurance premiums down for them by having a safer building. I mean, we're looking at projects globally all the time, and I think we're moving more into multifamily, which we haven't usually looked at before. But there's certainly with our insurance angle on things and our fire sensor technologies and our real-time evacuation of these buildings, it's definitely a model there that we hadn't previously sort of looked at. So Hong Kong opened my eyes up to some huge opportunities I hadn't expected to see. It's
especially in those high-rise multifamily buildings, they act just like an office building. I mean, except for they have more people there more times in the day. I mean, it's like
less people there. Actually, if you look at an office, you have more per square. Yeah, you'll definitely have less people per square foot than an office would have. But look. After this, our big focus is going to go back into Dubai and Saudi Arabia again. That region, because they're having so many issues with high-rise fires. It's absolutely horrendous. And the more and more we knock buildings down and rebuild them and add to the greenhouse gases, the more the world heats up and the more these fires carry on. But anyway, we won't go there. No, I just think there's a lot of really great buildings. I think what it really needs is some more creative architects to look at these buildings and realize they can really sort of add value. I've got a great friend, Thomas Heatherwick, who's a designer here in London. He's one of the most creative people there is in terms of architecture. And his whole view is that the Victorians built things that lasted because they really invested in how the buildings were built correctly. Whereas we're looking at buildings now as I think the way we're looking at buildings now is the same way you look at fast fashion. You just use it and you take it down, you rebuild it again. Yep. And I think we need a reversal of that. I think we need to start thinking a bit deeper and harder about, it looks great now, but what in 40 years' time, if it's not really fitting with the fashion of 40 years from now, how do I deconstruct or repurpose this building and make it look the way I want it to look. And a lot of
For
it,
sure.
sadly, is just the exterior finishes. I mean, right now, this completely sheer glass is a great thing. But as I said to you in a previous program, I sat there with an architect for 8 Bishopsgate. And shockingly, as I looked over Guildhall, Hall, which is about 400 or 500 years old and stunning and amazing, and has never had any issues, I look at these shiny buildings, the seals around the glass last for 25 years. I'm like, why are we building 60-story buildings with seals that last 25 bloody years? And I think the architects have to start thinking, this is how the building will transition, not knock the whole thing down and build up.
Yeah. No, for sure. And AI will help there. So there's a council member, it's called Code Tool, and Sandeep is great. She's an architect. And she's a second-time founder. Her first founding, it was a tool that she created for architects that became the prevalent tool of what she did. And then she's a second time. And now she's basically running an architectural firm, but it's all driven from AI. AI does the first pass. AI does, they can design a building with much better specificity and less errors. But the cool thing is, and what I was talking to her about was, we had this theme of, you need to design a building knowing that it's going to be reused in 10 years for a different purpose. Like, you need to design it in a way that it'll fit the original purpose, but then somebody can turn it into something else, right? Because that's what's going to happen. And
it'd be great if part of the brief was, let's just say in 10 years' time, this office isn't going to work. How are you going to then turn this into residential, or how are you going to turn it into life sciences building, or whatever it might be? But actually think at the very, very start about the modularization of how you're building these things, and how you go. The other thing is, how do you deconstruct? If you have to deconstruct it, how to deconstruct it and reuse the materials again. Glass doesn't suddenly wear away or decompose. Okay, so I just think we need to be a bit more responsible. If you are going to build stuff that's going to come down, well, then build it so you can take it back and repurpose it all over again. It's interesting. One of the things I'm going to jump in here on, I had an amazing meeting with the Construction Industry Council in Hong Kong last Tuesday, and oh my God, the technology coming along has shocked me. I never my wildest dreams. I think about plasterers, for example, being out of a job. And let me tell you, the robots who are doing the skimming and sealing walls. Stunning.
I saw a video of one that was doing exterior plaster stucco, and it was so cool. And it was going along. There was a human doing it, and then there was a robot following, and it recognized it, like it's doing a skim coat, and it recognized where the window opening was, and it stopped and then came back down. It could see using computer vision how to do, and it applied a better skim coat than the human did. It's like, and it would go over and pick up the thing and go over and then start to. I'm like, holy crap, that's awesome. Yeah, no, it's great.
It didn't take a cigarette break or a tea break.
Yeah, I know it doesn't. It doesn't break down. Yeah, I know. Well, it'll eventually break down. Everything breaks down. It's all hydraulics. It always breaks.
I was really, really, really impressed with what I saw. I mean, over there in Hong Kong, the buildings. I mean, Hong Kong is just extraordinary. The density of high-rise buildings is incredible. But the technology coming along, I was just blown away by what they had there at the CIC. Amazing.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's gonna be cool, and I think so if we also make the technology, so it doesn't matter what kind of use case it is. So like if we're talking about transforming buildings in 10 years, well, the tech needs to migrate from an office setting to a multifamily setting, especially if it's gonna be reused. I think it's but as multifamily comes, this whole thing around managed Wi-Fi, and there's more people doing, and we have this digital infrastructure, which, shameless plug, the U.S. PropTech Council is having a webinar in August around digital infrastructure. So y'all stay tuned. But as the digital infrastructure and all the real estate buildings becomes more pervasive and it gets better over time, then adopting technology for one use or the other, it should apply, right? I mean, are you selling different sensors for multifamily than you are for office? No, right? They're the same, or are they different use cases? What do you know?
It's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same. It's
Yeah.
obviously different deployment, and we've got to think about things a little differently, but it's
Yeah.
pretty much the same. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go back to George for he has to bounce. George, how did you solve the mechanical problem of turning an office into multifamily? Did you run the plumbing lines like on the floor? Like, how did you do? This is what I want to know. This is like my burning question. Like, how did you do it?
A lot of vertical penetrations. So basically,
Really?
I mean, then basically they all had to line up. So it was kind of, they had, they mapped it out on the floors and stuff like that. So of course, I mean, we're putting bathrooms all through an office floor. So basically it was a mess, and then it's kind of, the trick is kind of on how does it vent? So do you have to take the shafts that you can't really have a shaft go all the way through if it's a super tall building from the bottom to the top, say for dryers. So basically then it comes down to the ventless dryer. Do you use the ventless dryer? The tenants don't like the ventless dryer because it takes, 2.5 hours to dry their clothes. So how do you kind of do that? So do you try to do the horizontal penetrations through the facade? But then if it's historic, you can't do that because you can't disrupt the facade. So it gets a little tricky. So in the 31-story one, we ended up doing ventless dryers, and it was like, I don't know, 2+ hours to dry your clothes. But it was kind of like, hey, but this is a cool building. So I don't know what the trade-off was, but that was the pitch.
Yeah, that's the one thing you don't think about when you're converting stuff to residential. People got to wash their damn clothes, right? And they all want it. Even this is 2005. You were doing in-unit washers and dryers in 2005. Like that's pretty groovy. That's kind of cool. So welcome, Jason Hall. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm sorry. I was a little bit late. Apologies. I thought we were on for 10, but anyways, whatever. It's all good. I'm here a little bit better than ever. I mean, gives a chance for me not to interrupt anybody else, so that's good. I do all the interrupting now, so we're good. How you guys doing today?
All good. Amy, I got to run.
All right. Thanks, George, for coming.
Thanks, George.
So what's going on, Amy? What's going on? I can add a little bit. I can add a little bit of a I can add a little bit of love at the end of this call. So whatever you need.
Yes, for sure. So we're talking redeveloping office into multifamily. So what are you seeing from a lending perspective on these types of projects?
It's expensive, but you have to have experience, but it can get done.
Yeah. So
100%. I mean, I actually think there's a lot of opportunity in this space if you know what you're doing. If you understand how to work with the floor plates, the city to get tax credits, and if you know how to work with the state. I mean, I got a deal right now that I'm doing that's $30 million of tax credits, which is like, affordable, historic, you name it. And the property is a really cool property. It's just, it's downtown. It needs to be redeveloped, but you got to be able to work within the floor plates. And also, I think the one thing that everybody's learned is contingency factors are massive. I know there was a deal in Atlanta I was working on, and it had a film on the outside of the property, and if you washed it with today's Windex, it would scratch it. So they had to develop their own window cleaner for it, which was $1 million.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So I'm just saying, I think people's contingency factor for that stuff needs to be a lot higher than anything else. And I think that nobody's going to give you money unless you have experience in that space.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I would never in a million years would I have thought of that. That's crazy, Cal.
I mean, that was $1 million delta, right? I mean, that's a huge number. I mean, even though it's a $75 million deal, but still, that's meaningful. 5%.
Yes. Yeah. But no, for sure.
But I would just say it's available out there. I mean, I think the financing for it is definitely available. There's definitely equity for it. I actually was with a fund in Miami last week, and they're like, they have a $1 billion fund, and about 10 to 20% of that fund is allocated for office to apartment conversions.
Yeah. Okay. And they have a whole fund dedicated to it. So I guess that works. I guess people are looking into it. Talk to me about what you're seeing on the lending side from are the developers, what are they putting in as a percentage for technology? Are you seeing that as a line item on their CapEx budgets? And what does it look like from a representative?
I mean, I think, are you talking like a technology package or technology?
Yeah, no, technology package.
Well, I would just say that people build it. I would say the technology package, like on some of the properties now, I mean, they're adding a technology package to the line items. So it's a RUBS item. So if you want like, Wi-Fi and cable and, you want like a Ring doorbell, they add that as a RUBS item.
Oh, passing it along to the tenant. So they're
That's
not doing
right.
any sort of upfront as part of the CapEx
No,
budget?
I mean, I think they're doing the traditional stuff that everybody's doing. I can double check on some things, but I think everybody's doing some things that are traditional, but nothing too crazy. I think that what I've seen lately is a lot more people are putting a technology package into their line items where they can charge, make a little bit
Yeah.
extra money there, and they also get to control the service providers.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, passing that along to the tenant. I don't know if that stays. I mean, because every tenant now is starting to want, connectivity at a site. And so, I mean, I guess they're going to do what they want to do. I mean, they got to rent a place, right? But are you saying, is it a renter's market right now, or is it a landlord's market at the moment?
I think it all depends on where you are and what you want.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
where do you want to be? I mean, I think if
wherever
you're
you
looking
want
at,
to be, right? I guess
I mean,
that's a dumb
if you want to
question.
be no, but I think that you're right though. It's like a good question. It's like I think that there's a lot of overhang in like Austin and some other markets, but
Yeah.
if you want to be at the right location downtown, or you want the right buildings, you probably still could pay a pretty penny. But your A buildings in Salt Lake City that were built south of town, and there's 10 of them going up. Yeah, you're probably going to get a good deal. But maybe you don't want to be there. Maybe you want to be downtown, right? And you're willing to pay the extra $1.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, Jason, I don't know if you met my buddy Paul. He's based in London, and he's he's worldwide traveler. Like it's like I should have a spot on the show. Like where's Waldo? Where's Paul?
I love that.
He's like all over the place. Usually in China or Dubai or something. I'm jealous of your travel schedule, Paul.
You wouldn't have been jealous of my schedule, let me tell you, if you're with me. That's for sure. One night I finished at 4 a.m. back up at 6. Yeah, it was not glamorous.
No.
I actually went from China to Hong Kong to China to Hong Kong to China in 6 days. Yeah. It was like a yo-yo across the border. Anyway, it was all good.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I always come back there energized and upbeat.
Yeah. So on the construction side, so Paul was just mentioning the amount of new construction technologies. He was just in Hong Kong.
I think construction technology in order to drive, more cost-efficient structures in the United States is behind on multifamily, especially with your gardens. I think that, if you can value engineer your deals, you can make a lot of money. I mean, that's all we're trying to work on is value engineering deals. 20%.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think so. I know Suffolk Construction, they're a big, large developer and construction company based in Boston, huge. They have now created Suffolk Tech, which is a kind of incubator, accelerator, Boston. We're looking at creating one here in Austin, doing some sort of construction technology incubator here. And so I think everybody recognizes the need for construction tech, not just construction tech from like a software perspective, but because that's sorely needed too, but from a robotic perspective, right? Of everything you can add online or on a job site, drones, whatever. I think that's going to be super cool for sure. I can't wait for the day when Jason, when you get a budget from somebody and it says robots on it.
It will.
And they'll say robotic tech or something, and it's going to be a line item on the construction budget. Because I think that'll happen at some point, for sure. All right, so
Jason, when do you think that will happen? What's your view?
Yeah,
I think people will start. I mean, I think you'll start having people are already using drones to like manage their properties from afar. I mean, I think the robots will be like people that are cleaning or checking people in or being security or something like that, right? I don't think it's going to be. You're not going to win a lease with a robot, but I think you can basically run everything else. You probably have, it's probably hard to change a pipe until they get it really good, but I'm sure that there's opportunities with it.
Yeah.
I mean, what we were seeing and what Amy'd seen as well was a wet skimming of ceilings and walls, and it was quite extraordinary. Not only just how fast and how good it was the accuracy of that I saw, which are really far more efficient than humans and all the rest. But do you see the union getting involved there? Would that be an issue over in the US? Taking jobs away from plasterers?
I don't think it is.
Drew's going to be able to drone today.
I don't think so.
No.
I really don't. I think that there's certain parts of our business that are really hard to replicate, and there's some things that you can't replicate. But I think that I mean, just look at it all for now. I mean, everybody's been trying to. I mean, you know this, Amy. Everybody's been trying to do AI, like finding. I mean, everybody's like, oh, how can I basically do, like bid a construction project or bid a debt quote, and you don't have to have anybody involved, but there's always somebody involved, right?
Yeah.
I think the value engineering side of the equation for us is really important, but I think that the value engineering, I mean, I think that's something that we all needed, that our marketplace needs to do a better job, and there's tons of opportunity for that.
Yeah, I'm seeing AI on the bidding side, because you can take a PDF and they can do takeoffs. Like a takeoff is just going around on the blueprints and counting, like, oh, it's this door size, it's this, plumbing fixture, it's this fitting, it's this, that, and the other. And all you're doing is counting. Like AI can do that all day long. And like Patrick Murphy, who runs Coastal Construction, has Total AI. And that's all it does, is it does takeoffs. And he created this really cool thing for that to happen, right? And then, I mean, there's other takeoff softwares too. And so that's one thing. What I think that exists today that I don't know if I've seen enough people use is you can do drones for site inspections. And I know there's a couple of companies out there now. Bosch has a drone, or a rover that does inspections. So it'll walk around your property and look at what you want to look, and you kind of guide it to what you wanted to see on the human side. But then there's drones that'll do the same thing, right? So I think there's stuff there for sure on the construction side. But I want to see it become a really like a prevalent thing, that every construction job has robotics as a line item, or it becomes a part of
I don't. It's probably there at some point in time. So, well, listen, keep me in the loop, and I'm happy to jump on the next call. Sorry I was late for this one, but I'm sure you guys probably want to cut it off at 35 minutes or 30 minutes. But
we do. We are going to cut this one short. Thanks for coming, Jason. Always love having you, bud.
Sorry I was a little bit late, but I do think that the office conversion space, I mean, it's all about floor plates. It's all about how the city works with you, tax credits, things like that. But I think the cities do want people to help. And on the AI side of the house, I think that, I think there's a lot of opportunity to keep. I think our world's going to change dramatically in the next 10 years, where how you build buildings, how you rent, how you lease, what people need. I mean, I think that's going to be pretty interesting.
Yep. Very true.
Like I am sure that in the next 10 years we'll have drones building buildings, right? Like, why do you need a skyscraper? Why do you need a crane to carry a drone in New York City? I mean, like you can use a drone and probably be twice as fast.
Yep, for sure.
So
it'll be interesting to see. We're gonna cool. Robots of the future will be like, I don't know, Star Wars or whatever. All right, we'll see you, buddy. Thanks for coming.
See you guys. Take care.
All right. Yeah. Bye-bye. And Paul, parting thoughts for you, sir.
Parting thoughts. It's all different around the world. So, I mean, the big issue we have in the UK is we have this whole system of planning, permissions, and public consultations, and you can't get on and actually build stuff here. So our new government, who promised to build 1.5 million houses, I mean, good luck, because everything we see on the ground is that just is not going to happen, not in a million years. And then we need to do it, but it's not going to happen. I see in the Far East an amazing energy and vibrancy, and also a bit of a wake-up call to how they got it wrong the last few years, and why some of the bigger property companies have gone to the wall. Over expansion, too rapid expansion. I just see different countries haven't. I think the problem in the UK is government is stopping things, and we need to be moving to modular housing. The problem with having a modular housing factory is you need to keep everything running, and it's this ability to try and get governments to think, okay, we'll build 1.5 million homes. They're going to be modular majority, and we're going to give these contracts, these companies, to run their factories 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Otherwise it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't work like that. The reality is, a block happens, the factory doesn't work for 3 months. It just doesn't work. It needs big thinking, and I only see the big thinking really in the Far East. I don't see it anywhere else.
Yeah, there is a founder in the council who took that idea of, okay, let's do modular housing. So he has like a pop-up modular construction subdivision thing. So he just needs like 30,000 square feet. He'll come in with all his equipment and spit out a subdivision. and he's definitely in Dubai for sure, and he's doing projects there, and he's looking at doing projects down in LA. But you know, they're cookie cutter-ish, right? I mean, it's modular, right? So you're going to get them. They're not going to be these big fancy custom homes, 2,500 square feet, whatever. They'll be 1,400 square feet or less, but it's a house, right? And
Exactly.
so, yeah, for sure, yeah.
And I do think Africa is probably the one continent where we can really get things done. I think there where you would need to build a house at very low cost, and a lot of them. That's where I see the big opportunities being. I think purely down to planning and the procrastination that happens. It's just procrastination central over here at the moment. It drives me absolutely insane. I think if that could be moved on and people can make big, fat, juicy decisions and go, we are going to do this and we're doing it now, then I think it's fine. We live in a society where that doesn't happen any longer here.
Well, and part of it is if you have to start now, so in 5 years you might have something. I mean, that's the reality of real estate development, right?
But
I mean,
the problem is we've got governments who only last 5 years, and then they come in, they change the policies. You know, this is the whole issue with every bloody democracy government right now around the world. They're not sitting there with all the other parties saying, look, let's make a 20-year plan we all stick with, right? We stop playing games. We keep these things separate from the political fights. Health, housing, you know, they're long-term, infrastructure, long-term decisions. They need to pull them to one side and go, right, for the country, we're going to make a 10, 20, 30-year plan, and we're all going to agree to it. And then we play around the margins every 5 years when we come in and out.
Yeah, I know.
But hey, I like to dream. I like to dream that we might live in a world where people use
you do. This is the Paul Utopia hour.
Don't get me going. Don't wrong me. Don't wrong me today. Anyway.
Well, thanks for coming on the show. This has been so much fun. And everybody, join the U.S. PropTech Council. This is a show of the U.S. PropTech Council. Paul is one of our council members, and I'm coming from you live from the Starbucks, but it is what it is. And we will see all of y'all next week on Tuesday. Thanks, Paul.
See you again soon. Bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.